We need something funny for the intro. Do something funny.
Well, we missed it. We missed me making fun of your pen and paper.
Make fun of my pen and
was
paper.
It. That was the whole thing. I can't. We've already set it up, Dan.
Do the bit. You can't do the bit again. You're an actor. You should be able to repeat everything over and over again. That's your skill.
Dan, I like to keep things fresh as an actor. No two takes are the same.
You're always
That's
improvising. You're just like...
Hey, watch him! With Dan and Tony! Hey, watch him! With Dan and Tony! It's like watching, yeah!
Welcome to Hate Watching with Dan and Tony. I'm Dan.
And I'm Tony.
And we're kicking off a whole month of action-packed, powered video game movies. Because we all know that video game movies are one of the most successful ways that they translate one property into a movie. You know, just like, book to movie usually doesn't work. TV show to movie, well, we know that really never works. We're gonna have to do maybe 2 months of that, starting with oh god, what was it? Dukes of Hazzard? No, yeah, Dukes of Hazzard. No, not Dukes of Hazzard.
Dukes of Hazzard with Sean William Scott? Come on, that's a classic. Johnny Knoxville? Oh boy, love that movie. Let's do it.
Oh, what was the one with Owen Wilson and like Ben Stiller?
Starsky and Hutch.
Oh, Starsky and Hutch. Oh, that movie. I remember watching that movie. You're just
Huggy
like,
Bear.
What? Oh, did they get, what's his name to do Huggy Bear?
Snoop Dogg?
Of course they do. It's like that. It's like the topical time period. You know, it's like when they always put Ludacris in everything at a certain point. You know,
Luda. Those were good days. I love me some Luda.
So we're doing video game movies, and Tony got a pick. And Tony, what did you pick?
I picked the all-time classic, the gold standard of video games at the time.
Since there were only 3 movies.
There were only 3. This was the third official game, and it was Super Mario Brothers, Double Dragon, and then Street Fighter. And then I believe Mortal Kombat comes out relatively soon after that, and then just, takes over the world because it's the best video game adaptation of all time.
Yeah, I was looking at Rotten Tomatoes list of the 43 worst video game adaptations.
Have there been 43?
Well, half of them are Resident Evil.
Oh, shit. I guess, yeah, you're right. That does count. All 20 of those movies.
And it's like, I was thinking about trying to do the Resident Evil movies, and it's like, those movies you wouldn't even, they'd be a waste of time to do, because they're just so, every one of them is exactly its thing, and they're kind of just campy fun, and they don't really mean anything, and to try to dissect a thing that doesn't mean anything, as opposed to Street Fighter, Universal Pictures, 1994, this movie is a mess from beginning to end. It's just...
Did you say mess? Is that like cool hip slang for like right on the money? Like, man, that's a mad mess, but it means like good stuff?
No, this movie, although there's some fun, there is an element of campy good fun in here.
But not enough. That was my biggest takeaway, is that they should have just fully committed to that, because my favorite parts are when they're being campy and ridiculous, and then it kind of goes back to not doing that. I'm like, come on, guys, just go for it.
There are some things in this movie that you're just like, please just let this scene end. Why is this scene in here? Why are we spending time on this? I understand you built this set and you need to have, a good 15 minutes of the entire movie, occurring at this location. But no, more was Jean-Claude Van Damme in this movie?
Oh God, I would argue he's in it too much.
Too much.
He turns out he's one of my least favorite characters. I love Jean-Claude Van Damme. Yeah. But as Guile, I just can't. I can't do it. I can't do it. That accent. Guile's the all-American boy, and I just can't. Every time he talks, it makes me laugh.
Was he doing an American accent?
I don't know if he was trying to do it.
Okay.
Or if he was just like, guys, I'll just give you something and you can do what you will. Because it's not close.
I guess he is supposed to be American because he has the American flag tattooed right on the shoulder.
Yeah. The character of Guile is the epitome of America in the game. It's wild. It's wild that they went with. I mean, he looks the part. I'll say that. And he's got the kick down. That flip kick that he does like 4 times in a row at one point in the movie. I mean, that's great.
Did he really do that, or was he on wires for that?
I'm going to make a stand right now and say that he really did that because he's amazing.
I mean,
okay.
I mean, I know he does that one kick where he like kicks around the back of your head. You know, that one's like, you're just like, what is happening? His leg is like wrapping around your head. He's in front of you and he's kicking you in the back of the head. You're like,
where'd it come from?
You better have electricity and robot powers if you're going to fight this guy.
I mean, I guess I assume he's on wires, but I'll give him the benefit of the doubt any day.
Yeah, there's just no way you're going to be able to jump and spin and lose no height. You're going to lose so much height because you weigh 210 pounds.
Because of gravity. I don't believe in gravity either, so maybe that's the problem.
So we start off with some good, bold music. The music, I was like, okay, I'm in there. I'm, boom, 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 boom. It's nice.
And then the Street Fighter, like that's great. I love when the icon comes on. Yeah, I'm hyped, man.
It's the bang, steel, ching. We're like, okay, I like this. This is good.
Let's do this.
Then we go into about 40 minutes of backstory, G&T news, Chun-Li, Civil War in Shadaloo, random, stock footage cut together.
Can I tell you a true story, Dan?
Sure.
I had to Google Shadaloo because I didn't know if it was real or not. My wife looks over while I'm doing, she's like, what are you looking up? And I was like, I don't know if this is a real place or not. And then she didn't talk to me for about 5 minutes, just silent, just aghast that I had to Google Shadaloo. It's a cool name, and I thought that maybe somebody, but it turns out Shadaloo is the corporation from the game. Like, it's the Shadaloo Corporation. Anyhow, so it's not a real place, everybody.
Made a little more sense as opposed to all the weirdness that so there's they're saying there's a civil war, which of course usually means it's 2 factions of the country fighting against themselves.
Right. But that's not quite right.
That's not. It's kind of like he's the war, and he, him and his 65 guys is warring against the entire country.
They're very good. They're trained well, Dan.
From their 110, are they trained well? They have plastic helmets.
No. But... and did he always have the electric powers, or did he gain that when he gets electric? We can talk about it later, but I was a little confused.
Now, you've played the game. I've never played the game. I watched some of it on the YouTubes so I could see what it was like. Sure. And was Bison in the game? Does he fly down in that thing and electrocute you?
Yeah, M. Bison is great in the game. He's awesome. I mean, he's great in the movie. Fantastic. Yeah, one of the best parts. But so almost everybody who has a significant speaking part is a character from the game. Yeah. Now, they ruined a bunch of them. Just totally changed them. But there's a couple good representations, I think. In fact, I did a rating scale at the end.
So DJ is like a real person in there too, or no?
Yeah, DJ was ruined by the movie. He's like I think he's a kickboxer or a dance breaker. He's one of the two. In the game, but he's a fighter, not like the movie where he's a little joke machine coward guy that runs away. But it's fine. It's okay.
Yeah, there's definitely some weird stuff but you realize at a certain point, and I think that's what I found to be the largest flaw of this movie is you're actually running like 3 groups you're running 5 groups of characters. You're running Chun-Li
Yeah.
and her two buddies. You're running Guile and his two buddies and his army. You're running the two guys, Ken and Ryu. Then you've got two factions of bad guys. You've got Bison and his guys, who's DJ and the Russian guy. And
Zangief.
then... And is that what his name is?
He's my favorite.
And then you have... what's his name? What's that other dude's name?
Sagat.
Sagat, and then his fighter...
Vega. Yeah.
And it's just so many people that...
It's a ton of characters to try to balance.
Yes, that none of these plot lines ever sort of follows through. It's like...
Yeah.
Like... And we'll get into it, but it's like characters are just captured without ever getting captured. Characters are all in the same place without ever figuring out how to get in the same place.
Well,
There's just
you
endless stuff.
have to fill in the gaps, okay? As children watching this movie, we're totally buying it because we're able to imagine what's happening in between the scenes, and we're fully on board. I do remember, like, when I was watching it, I was like, wow, as a kid, I just remember this making more sense to me. We watched this movie a bunch as kids. We loved it. I mean, it was badass. This movie doesn't make a lick of sense for the majority of it.
No, I mean, yeah, exactly. And I think it was the guy wrote this movie in a day, and they were...
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, he wrote it in a day. And they were...
He's good.
Is it good? And then they were...
Isn't he the guy that wrote Die Hard?
I don't know. Was he?
I'm pretty sure.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna look it up.
Look
you
that
keep
up.
talking. I'm gonna look it up.
But yeah, he wrote it in a day, and they had all sorts of budget constraints. You know, instead of having those boats, they wanted to have helicopters, and you could just feel.
Well, I mean, you have budget constraints when you hire Jean-Claude Van Damme for his quote, which at the time was astronomical.
He and Raul Julia ate up like basically the budget.
Yeah,
that
which
was
is
the
such
budget.
A bummer. Such a bummer, guys.
You know, and so, you know, when it came to Kylie Minogue, they couldn't pay her much, and she just had like the world's weirdest role. You don't even know who Kylie Minogue is, do you?
She also is weird.
Do you know who she is?
What else is she in? I know she's a singer.
She's an Australian pop singer. She did some weird acting, but it's like light comedy. There's no reason why she should be in this movie, and like her manager or whatever got her shoehorned in here into a role that, like, I mean, I didn't think she was terrible, but it was just like, I got to the end and I read and it was like, that's Kylie Minogue. I'm like, what the hell is she doing in there? But
why are you here?
So
I guess I didn't realize that she was also not like super American. So like for their American roles, they didn't really get any American people, which is fine. I don't actually care. It's just kind of a weird choice, I think.
Now, does the Cherokee guy have a Band-Aid on his head in the game? Is that why he has a Band-Aid on? Like a different Band-Aids.
I'll tell you, I don't remember there being a Band-Aid. He definitely has the bandana that he puts on eventually, but I don't remember the band. But let me also say, did you think that Jean-Claude Van Damme had a huge welt on his head?
At the end, he did.
So I noticed that and I was like, is that real or did he get hurt during filming? It turns out he always has that. That's his face. I Googled a bunch of pictures throughout the year and it's always there. I never noticed that before.
He wore that hat through 90% of the movie and the hat was only gone at the end. That's why.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
I was watching like that end fight scene and I was just like, ouch, you know?
I thought he got like thwapped.
Got a big bump. Should have that looked at.
Good for him.
And
let me, Dan, quick update on the Steven DeSouza front. That's who wrote Street Fighter. Did write Die Hard, Die Hard 2.
Okay.
Lara Croft, Tomb Raider, Cradle of Life. Like this guy's got some chops. The Flintstones movie, that's a 10 out of 10. Beverly Hills Cop 3. Nope, never mind. That's not good.
I know
that's the worst Beverly Hills Cop.
I think I know the director.
And Judge Dredd, the original. I mean, he's got a great lineup here. Commando, this guy's good.
He peaked with Commando and Die Hard because Commando is freaking I'll have to watch Commando again. This movie is very this movie wants to be what Commando was.
Sure. Yeah.
If this had been a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie, this would have been like Commando and would have been a lot more fun.
But it's not.
But it's not.
It's not. There is no star of the movie.
No.
You know?
There is absolutely no star of the movie. So...
Except for maybe Zangief.
The Russian guy?
He steals the show. Yeah, he steals the show. You don't think so? He was by far my favorite character. And he had a character arc and everything. It was beautiful.
He was the only person in this movie that had a character arc. It literally played out in 29 seconds at the end of the movie, where he's like, wait, what's happening?
He still got it. My favorite line is like, Bison is a bad guy? A+. The whole movie, that's where you start, is that one line, and then build the movie around that, because that was amazing.
I agree with you there. And yeah, I mean, is there a good movie hiding in this movie? Probably. Like you say, it's a good movie for kids because they're going to glom onto the fun lines that are fun lines and not look at all the rest of it and go, what is happening? What is
going on right now?
Why is there a radio inside a box and there's that's your other favorite line, and actually probably the best line of the whole movie. Actually, we're not going to do that line yet because.
All right, let's stand by. I got a lot of good lines, Stan. Written. I wrote them all down.
I'm glad that we've already wasted 20 minutes not getting anywhere. Okay.
Hey, we talked about a lot of good stuff already. Sorry, everybody. Let's go to the movie.
Start the movie. General Bison, Raul Julia, his final role. He's dying of cancer while he's doing this. And I couldn't tell. I thought he was amazing.
No, this guy gives 120% to this movie. It's so beautiful. And I wish that the movie was good enough to, like, give him the movie he deserves.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
But, you know, ipso facto.
I mean, he probably shaved years off of his life giving the intense performance that he does. Because he's
100%.
Flipping that cape and just, like, chewing up the scenery in like not in an over the top but not annoyingly over the top way.
Yeah, no, it's perfect. It's a wonderful performance and nobody else could live up to how good he was.
No.
Yeah. What are you going to do?
So he wants $20 billion. He's got 63 hostages.
Dan, is that a lot of money? I think that's a
$20
lot of money.
billion is so much money. That is so much money.
Do we even have $20 billion? My first thought in this movie was like, well, that's a fool's errand. Because how could we get $20 billion?
I mean, you could. Would they ever give anyone $20 billion? No. No, never.
All right.
So he's got 63 hostages, who he puts in a hostage pit, which...
Yeah.
Money well spent. Hostage pit, doors going open, doors closing.
So good. Do you think that those people are worth $20 billion, Dan?
No.
Is that so? Again, is he saying that is the $20 billion just to release the hostages?
Just for
or
the
is he saying
people.
20? Okay, I thought maybe $20 billion was like, I'll pack it up and go home. I'll live on a beach. The war's over for $20 billion. So he's just saying these 60 people are worth $20 billion. The war will continue, but you can have these great people back. Okay.
Yes.
All right, that makes perfect sense to me.
And this movie is very reliant on numbers. It like always specifically wants to tell you these exact numbers. You know, we have a clock running down the 3 days that they have, and we've referenced
3 days
it at times. We really get into the numbers all the time, which I kind of like, because a lot of times they don't get into numbers and they just like, give me some money. It's very specific.
So, it's very specific.
He kills like a couple of soldiers, then he gets to this one guy, and then Guile gets
perfectly timed.
Perfectly timed. He shows up, jumps down, holds a microphone in the weirdest way ever. Like, I'm talking
it's
into
out
a mic.
here.
Sometimes it's like here. Sometimes
there's no way
here.
that microphone is picking up. Those microphones are so directional because you're out in the shit that you need to put it like right here to pick up. And he's just holding it out here. He doesn't care.
And that's like the point at which you realize what movie you're getting into, where it's like,
Right. Yeah,
just use
100%.
that take. Cut it. Let's keep moving.
Move on. That was great. Let's just go. Time is money, people.
The sound was bad on the other one. Just use that one. Whatever. No one's gonna notice. It's a bunch of stupid kids watching this dumb movie. So the two of them sort of yell at each other, and then he cuts in, and then then Bison figures out that one of the soldiers is Guile's best friend.
Well, because Giles like, hang in there, Charlie. We're coming for. That was more Schwarzenegger. I can't do a Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yeah.
I'll work. I should have worked on it.
It's very
Anyhow,
subtle.
he's like, Charlie, we're coming for you, and then Bison just happens to look at this guy's dog tags. He's like, huh. Charlie, gotcha.
But it wasn't even Charlie, it was Carlos.
No, it's Carlos Blanca, and he just makes that logical leap. He's like, you must be Charlie. That's the only thing that makes sense.
A leap that no one would ever make.
That's perfect.
And then someone jumps in the van. I think Kylie Minogue jumps in the van and like crawls over the Hawaiian guy in this really weird
over
scene.
E Honda. Yeah. To try to trace the signal.
She's like crawling over him. It's just so awkwardly weird. You're like, what? Who chose this? And
probably E Honda.
And then they can't trace it. And then Bison is like, take Charlie to the laboratory.
Which is, I'll tell you right now, spoiler alert, the Blanca storyline is my least favorite thing that they did with Street Fighter.
And why is that?
Because Blanca is so cool in the game. He's this green beast that like fights ravagely and is like awesome. He's like muscly and you're like, oh, cool. And he's like this weird, wimpy, Hulk wannabe, soft piece of shit.
With an orange wig that they bought at Hollywood Costume.
And it just looks so bad. It looks terrible. Who did the makeup and costume for it? It's... Oh, what a bummer.
It is the part of this movie that you're like, what the hell? Like that is the worst budget mistake you could make.
And they totally waste it. There was almost no reason for that entire story. Blanca doesn't do anything to progress the story. At one point, Jean-Claude's going to just shoot him in the head, put him down like a wild horse or whatever. And then and you're like, oh, no, don't do it. But then he doesn't do it. And then they just stay in the rubble. Like, he does nothing except for kill himself in this movie. That's it. It does.
So now,
such a waste.
Now we go to a bar and we see Vega fighting. And then we meet Ryu and Ken, and they're selling guns to, what's his name again? Sagat. And it's just, like, really weird. I don't know if they...
Oh, what, you think the Nerf guns are weird?
I'm not sure if they actually have guns, or the Nerf guns are the fake out. They're trying to sell them Nerf guns, and everyone's double-crossing everyone. You're just like, I don't understand.
Yeah, it's not exactly spelt out. Like, there's no... It just seems like these two guys, Ken and... So, first of all, Ryu, they say it both ways in the movie, which is hysterical to me because growing up as a kid, we would always argue over which way you say it. It's like, oh, it's Ryu. No, it's Ryu. It's Ryu. So then the movie gets here and they don't know. It's weird. Anyhow.
They just wanted to continue that argument. They knew that was a kid argument, and they did not want to settle it for you little assholes.
It's ridiculous. But you meet these two guys who just seem like they're bumbling idiots that somehow fell into this gun deal. And we're like, well, what do? We don't have guns. It's like, let's get fake ones. Like, why are they even double-crossing him? I don't understand any of it.
There's one thing I liked in this scene is like, Sagat offers them drinks or girls, and these two Asian girls sort of come out through the thing. They're like, and then they kind of get refused, and then they sort of just back up.
Slink back. And I will say the guy who plays Ken is bad. Like, he's not good.
I
did not like him. But I love the guy that plays Ryu.
Well, yeah,
Big fan.
I thought the guy who played Ken was fine because that's who he's playing. He's kind of playing the more dickish character who you're kind of not supposed to like, right?
Are we supposed to like anyone in this movie? Who is the hero of this movie?
Chun-Li.
Okay, I do like Chun-Li. That is one of the only characters I do like all the way through.
And she's super hot in this movie.
Yeah.
Although they do some things to make her super hot, then they do other things that are just like, oh my god, that is so unflattering. And then we actually have part of a fight. Not much of a fight, just a little bit of fight. Yeah. And then they lose.
Wait. When do they go? Is this, and then they go into the ring?
That's later, yeah.
After they lose this fight. Okay.
Because then the bad guys pull out real guns and like, you have lost.
Oh, right. Yeah. Because, yeah, you're right. Yeah, right. They get shot in the face with the Nerf gun.
But then they pull out real guns.
Hilarious. Yeah. Yep.
And they're like, we lose. And you're kind of like...
Right, because how are you going to fight that?
I guess there are real guns because they blow up the real guns later.
Yes. Which is just one truck full.
I know.
Which is great.
It's like, they're supposed to deal with the whole army's literally one truck.
One little truck. I mean, there's only 50, 60 people in the army. It's fine.
So now we do Bison thing. Bison has a doctor who's chained up, like the chains, and then he is changing, what's his name, into the monster. And he's in this chamber, and he's showing him, like, Nazi stuff, and he's building the perfect soldier, and we have a good joke.
I mean, they're Captain America-ing him, right? Because they have, like, that serum they're bringing in, and he's in a chamber, and I was like, oh, this is Captain America.
Well, they're monsterifying him. Captain America didn't have... They're winter soldiering him, actually.
Oh, great call. That's exactly what they're doing. Yep.
Yeah, because they're reprogramming him to
the mind. Yeah.
And we get a nice joke where he says to the doctor, "After this is done, we'll see about getting you published." I'm like, okay, that's a good joke.
Yeah. He's got some zingers, M. Bison.
So now we cut to the cage fight thing. Ryu's gonna fight Vega. And the whole audience is ladies, and they're all like, ooh.
Well, not just the ladies, Dan. I was like that, too. I do not remember him being so cut. Vega, beautiful body. Wow.
Vega's super cut, yeah.
That guy is trim. Woo.
And so, I'm like, okay, we're finally going to get like a good 2-minute fight, and we're going to see these guys really do their thing, and it's going to go, and they're like, dot, 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 dot. And then a car crashes through the thing, and...
it's a tank. Dan, it's a tank, okay? Much more menacing than a car.
And Guile leans out and just like, you're all under arrest!
You're all under arrest.
And that's what this movie does. It sets up where you're going to like, okay, we've set up this really good thing where these two primary characters are going to put on their really good fight, and we're going to have really good martial arts, and we're really going to see what this movie is about. And they just snatch it right away from you.
Which is ridiculous. The movie is called Street Fighter. We don't have a good fight until the third act. I want to have cool fights all through the movie. Not the one thing, but I don't want to keep harking on Mortal Kombat versus Street Fighter, but I will. Mortal Kombat has cool fight scenes all throughout between their characters until the final showdown. Like, it's very well paced. This movie is ridiculous.
And that's the problem with this movie is it 50% of the time should be the fights, or 30% of the time should be fights. And we need to see these matchups interspersed throughout the whole movie so that we get a really good Ryu Vega fight now. Therefore, we're not pissed off at the end of the movie, and so they have to give us like a half-assed Ryu Vega fight, which they give us.
Which they do.
And it's like,
unfortunately,
we want to see good characters square off against each other and then see different pairings later on. We don't want to see Ryu and Vega. Yeah.
It's also a way to build the dramatic tension. Like, who wins this earlier fight? Probably Vega, right? I don't know. And then later, they have to win that fight. Like, there's ways to set up these characters in those fights to be like, to make the end a little more, meaningful. But they don't.
And Ryu could have learned something in this initial fight with Vega, so that when he has the rematch with Vega, he uses that, and we get something from it. As
Great
it is
stuff, Dan.
We get nothing.
We get nothing.
Then I wrote down we have a staff meeting. Something about it.
Wait, who has this? Is this the? Is this the Americans, the Allied Nations?
Yeah, they have a staff meeting. I wrote something about an assassin not. Oh, a guy tries to assassinate, and once again, it's like one and done kick. He does this great kick.
Which this one's used as a joke, I think, because he sweeps the leg, punches him, and then he makes some sort of one-line quip. I don't remember what it was, but
once again, give us 90 seconds. Have this guy come in, have this, he's getting ready for the staff meeting. The guy slips in there, bang, bang, bang. We really see Guile put on a show. I want to see this. You're giving this guy $9 million.
It's
put on a show.
Right? What makes his movies great is watching him do cool acrobatic kicks. That's like his thing. Let me see. Don't just sweep the leg.
I do not want to see him sitting in a boat, avoiding mines.
Although I do love that the boat has his name on the side, so you know for sure who's coming. Are boats in the Army monogrammed?
Actually, probably generals have their Jeep, their staff Jeep, and if you use that Jeep for something else, you're going to get kicked in the balls.
Yes, that is my Jeep.
So in the prison, they're giving the prisoners inoculations. We find that Sagat works for Bison. Then we're having a prison fight. Oh, yeah. He's watching, and there's a big prison fight. All the prisoners are attacking Ken and Ryu for some reason.
And Ryu, yeah.
Why were they doing that? I don't really remember.
Aren't they...
They had something that everybody wanted.
Because I think they're... Because all the guys start circling them, and they're like, oh, they're afraid of us? And he's like, not us. And then it's Sagat sending people... You know what? I don't know. They just kick some ass. They just do a big fight.
And so... what's his name is bring them to me. Then we have a tour of a hospital. I don't remember what that was.
Real quickly, I just want to say the uniforms for the Allied nations are beautiful. The baby blue accents that they have. Wow. Love it.
So then we have a whole fake fight. We have stolen keys. Everybody escapes. There's a car chase. And Ken shoots Guile, and then Chun-Li also plants a bug on the truck.
And then Kylie Minogue yells, "Medic! Medic!" which is one of my favorite parts of the movie because it's so generic.
Where we were at the temple where we learn about Bisonopolis, and we have a nice food court joke.
Wait, what's the food court joke? I don't know if I remember that.
He's standing in front of this model of Bisonopolis, which is going to be like a town or something, which we use later in the Godzilla joke.
Yep.
And
which is pretty good.
Talks about the jokes in this movie are fine. It's just that there aren't enough of them. Not. And the movie isn't paced to exploit the jokes. And like I was saying earlier, we got to rewatch Commando and see if Commando still really works. Because I remember seeing it, and it seemed to really work. It does. The jokes were all great.
I haven't seen it in a long time, but I think it does.
It seems like I've watched a portion of it in the last 10 years, and you still sit there and you go, ha, ha, ha. This, it still has I only have a few movie quotes in me, but, it's like when he's holding the one guy, Sully, when I told you I was going to kill you last, I lied. What a great thing. You set up a premise, and then you make a joke out of you not doing the premise, and you kill a horrible character, and we all get to really enjoy it. Yeah. It was, none of the jokes in this movie were like half as good as that joke.
Oh, come on. Quick, change the channel.
Okay, quick, change the channels. We're getting closer to that.
All right,
No,
sorry. It's my favorite thing.
So So I guess Bison gives a big speech, and I guess your Russian dude cries during
Yeah,
it?
he gets like emotional because he's like so into it. He's the best character. I love him.
Tony's like, I'd have killed that guy. I'd been good. Oh man, I could have done that one. Now we have Chun-Li doing a whole ninja thing, and
Is this where
What
she
an-
sneaks into the compound?
she sneaks in
Okay.
the compound, but like, what a sad ninja costume she puts on. You're just like, she's
It's
like
just,
super
like,
hot, and she
black.
puts on.
She just covers herself in black, and then she like wraps. I don't know. It's so weird.
She has, it's like a like a hood you use in the cold where you pull the thing and it
Pull
like
the strings up and tie
smooshes
'em
down
in
on your
knots.
face.
It's so good. And I love that she's like, when they release her, she's like, am I clear? Am I clear? And they pull up to 2 guards, 1 guard on either side, and they're like, okay, we're clear. You're not clear. That's the least clear you've been in the last 2 minutes. Do it before you get to the guards. That doesn't make any sense to me. I'm sorry.
I don't know. So she breaks into the morgue, and then it's Guile is laying out there like I think in a body bag, faking his own death.
First, hold on. We got to get to the best prop of the whole movie, which is Chun-Li is like, she's looking for the second signal. I honestly wasn't totally sure what she's doing in the compound, but she gets into the
Well, it's they were tracking the truck too, so she's going to see where the tracking is coming from.
Because there's 2 trackings.
And somehow the tracking.
Okay.
Yeah, they're tracking and he's also tracking him. So she sees 2 signals coming back, and so why she would want to find this out? Who cares?
Right? Yeah, I don't know.
More importantly, why is their signal tracker in the morgue?
It's very strange. But to find it, Dan, she's like, oh, I need my piece of equipment. And so she unzips her fanny pack and pulls out this little device. And I was like, yes, fanny pack. Because I've got a whole slew of fanny packs. Nobody thinks they're cool anymore, and they're wrong.
You do not have like fanny pack.
I have not every occasion. I have 3 fanny packs. I have a pro wrestling fanny pack, which we made specifically for me because I was like, I really want a fanny pack with our logo. And then I have this beautiful rainbow fanny pack that I got at the state fair one year. And then I have just like a practical, like gray, cloth one that has lots of pockets. Just because.
Working
exactly.
fanny
Yeah,
pack.
the working one. Anyhow.
Adventure fanny pack, which you don't want to get messed up when you're on a ninja adventure. The other
Exactly.
two, the rainbow ones for when you're going out. Pro wrestling is when you're on the red carpet promoting.
Exactly. So you get it. Fanny packs for life, man. Love them.
So Guile immediately takes her into custody. You're in custody.
Also, he just sits up. Is that just bad timing, or is he laying in wait? I honestly don't know the answer.
Oh wait, they don't capture her. She escapes. She jumps through a window.
Oh yeah.
And I think Kylie Minogue does a thing and says, "What a screw up!" And then Guile is like, "What a woman!"
Nailed it. Out of the park.
We Guile's what a womaning her, and then Ken becomes enamored with her, and then nothing comes of either.
Yeah,
of
there's
these
no.
sort
It's
of
weird
things.
that they plant those because there's no romance at all in the movie, which is fine. I mean, I'm okay with that, but maybe leave out the jokes then. Whatever.
Now we get to the big circus.
Yeah.
Somehow Chun-Li and her 2 buddies, the boxer who really has nothing to do,
Balrog.
and
Is his name.
Balrog.
Yeah.
Balrog. They couldn't call him Mike Tyson because they're going to get sued.
That is, I would. Is that real? Because I believe that 100%. Okay.
Totally. They mixed and moved all the names,
Sure.
and I'm sure he was Mike Tyson, being super racist. No one ever gets these far in these videos, so we'll never get called out for that. So yeah, they definitely changed the name
Okay, yeah.
when it came to the U.S.
I believe it.
So Bison is throwing on a circus, and Sagat is there, and then somehow Chun-Li and her buddies are the
They got
circus
hired
performers.
to do it. I mean, that's great. Great cover. Good for them. And she's good. She's very good at it.
Well,
How did she get out of the basket, Dan? How did did that work? I don't understand the trick. She's in a basket, and then they cut in half. She's not in the basket. She comes down on a rope. Amazing. That's a great show.
Yeah, it's incredible. So we do some magic tricks, which Tony's a big magic person.
Blew me away.
And then we come out with the case of Bison money, which that is a prop I would love to have.
Oh my God, yes.
One of those.
I would take some Bison dollars any day.
They're beautiful. Yeah. They look like money.
Yeah.
It's just a gorgeous prop. And in the midst of this movie, like, there's just weird things. Yeah. You're just like, how did they make this literal perfect prop for like two like one use and one joke?
At the end, yeah. Which is great. A great joke. Really, really ties the movie together for me.
So we get that there's gonna be so the two. Oh, okay. So then Ken and Ryu are there. Oh, because they're with
they're
them.
now
That's
like guests of honor because I don't remember. They warned him of something. Is that what happened?
Yes. Well, he helped them. They shot Guile.
Right. They helped them escape the truck.
With the keys.
Right. Throw us the keys.
They're in.
So good. Great stuff.
And Ken's off there wandering around looking for Chun-Li, and then they come back and like there's the big face-off between both sides, and they're all like, "Hey guys, we gotta all get along." And Ryu goes to one side and Ken goes to the other side, and then they're like, "There's enemies in your midst," and they're like, "What enemies?" And then he's like, "The box." How he knows the box is the enemy? Who knows?
It talks.
And then
Chun-Li's voice comes up on it, and then he's like, "There's your spy." Which is...
So the box starts talking, and they go over there and they open it, and then Chun-Li's on there and gives a whole big.
But before we talk about that, later in the movie, Sagat is like...
Wait, before we talk about that, let's talk about later in the movie.
This moment
makes sense to me.
Is very important to me because later in the movie, Sagat is like, Ken and Ryu warned us first of Chun-Li's like being among us, but technically no, they didn't, because her voice came in the box and they just pointed at the box. Like, they all would have figured it out at that exact same moment that she was doing something because her voice came on the air. It's dumb. It doesn't make any sense. Anyhow.
So Chun-Li tells them that she's found their weapons, which are on like a single truck, which is just parked out there with no guards because everyone's at the circus.
Well, it's a fun
somehow
time. Great show.
Rigged this with bombs while she was busy circus performing, and then she's like, they've set it off the drive, and it's like they do this great like little pose where they're like, "Ha we're doing this thing to you," and they're like, "Mahalo," they just
Mahalo.
It's so sad because it should have been so comedic and fun. I mean, it's almost like if this movie didn't have the Guile stuff in it. That's kind of, if it just been Ken and Ryu and their conflict, and then Chun-Li and her crew versus the bad guy crew, we had cut it down to maybe 3 crews who are all sort of bouncing around, but we have 5 crews.
Too many crews.
Way too many crews.
So the truck is coming down the thing, and they're looking at the TV, and they're like, "Boy, that looks familiar." And it cuts back and forth like 5 or 6 times, just so you, as an audience member, you really understand that the truck is in the same place as they are. And then Zangief throws out the greatest joke of all time. Dan, why don't you say it? Why don't you say
it? He says, "Quick, change the channel!" And it's such a good joke because you're setting up how dumb a character is. Like that's gonna fix their problem.
So
like watching it on the TV is their problem.
It's an just, A+. Man. It's my favorite moment of the whole movie, and I love it to death.
And Tony will give this whole movie a pass just for that one joke.
It's an A+, just because. Quick, change the the channel. It kills me. I love it every time.
And like I don't know if it's DJ or somebody standing next to him and just gives him like this look. Dumb. Like
it is. It does sound like DJ because he's got that. He's the sarcastic one of the group.
He's sometimes Jamaican, sometimes just a guy from the New York. Who knows what DJ is?
So good.
So
it's all downhill from here.
So then Bison's like, "Can't get them," and then somehow Chun-Li and her crew are captured. In the next scene, they're completely captured. We don't know how.
Well, what happened, Dan, is they stayed in that pose too long. And so they were able to search the compound, and they're like, there they are. That's the pose I remember.
It's them in the pose. So, big explosion. It was fun. 12 hours to go. So I've written for this entire part, stealth boat.
Yeah.
Because he gets thrown off of the thing. This government guy comes and they're like, no, we're doing it. Everybody gets on boats. He's on his magic stealth boat, which is a very cool boat.
It's a great boat. Yeah. I wish that it did more in the movie, but it doesn't.
They go boating. They like stealth button, really Batman stealth, hit the stealth button. There's machine guns that are shooting bushes, which are supposed to be radar emplacements. Yep. They're radar emplacements when they show them. They're bushes when they explode. and then they have like the non-stealth button that the bad guys push, and then
the stealth mode didn't work very well. It's such a bummer. Like they knew it the whole time almost.
And somehow the big boat is in front with all the little boats, and then the big boat's 20 minutes ahead of all the little boats.
Well, thank goodness, because there was a lot of explosions, and those guys would all be dead. Anyone right behind that boat would have blown up, because they just kept narrowly missing the boat.
So Raul Julia and his big flying platform, all these joysticks and buttons, and he's like...
Dan, I could be wrong, but I am relatively sure that that's a Street Fighter 2 control pad from the arcade that he's playing on.
Probably.
Gosh, it's a beautiful touch. It's wonderful.
Yeah. And it's like, once again, here's like where the special effects / money has not been well spent. It's just like this side view of the boat. And nothing really happening. And they'd cut to it and be like, we'd hear noises, but nothing would be happening.
Yeah.
So somehow Guile knows what's coming down, and they jump out. We don't see them jump out. We know, nothing happens. But we know that they've jumped out.
Because he says he's going to. They set it up so that he's going to escape. You just don't know how, but you know what happened.
That's the thing. The budget guys like pages 38 to 42, they're out. But he's like, that's our scene where we get out of there. We
can set it up with a line. Don't worry about it.
So now we have the torture scene. Who are they torturing? Oh, they're torturing
Honda,
the Hawaiian guy. Yeah.
Great scene.
And
you didn't like it?
Is it a great scene?
I thought so.
Okay. So the boxer is chained up here, and then he's in a thing, and then the Hawaiian guy's like, "This is gonna, you can't break me," says some words,
of course.
And then the guy whips him like 4 times.
Breaks a whip, gets a new whip, yeah.
And the guy's like, smoking a cigarette because he's so bored about all the pain. And then the other guy's like, "Is he picking his teeth? Is that what he's doing?" Yeah. And the torturer is so tired after 30 seconds of torture, he's like, gotta go get a beer.
Yeah, listen, that's not his job, okay, Dan? The actual torture guy was sick today, so they just have a guy filling in, and he's not used to this motion, so he's tired. He's got to take a break. Union break, baby.
It's like baseball. You got to have 9 guys go in a row, because swinging that bat, you get so tuckered out.
Tired. Can't do it more than once in a row. It's tough.
So Ryu and Ken are now part of the thing. They're given their proper outfits finally.
Oh, thank goodness! I missed them.
we have this whole training thing. It was dumb. Okay. Oh wait. Oops.
Oops. What?
Oh, they showed this. Now we have the whole stealth boat thing. Sorry.
Okay.
Whatever.
It doesn't really matter.
Doesn't really matter. So then now we have the whole Chun-Li in the bedroom thing.
Oh, in Bison's room.
In Bison's room. Just the worst speech about how you killed my dad.
I have some questions just on the specifics of the speech. Just this one. She said 20 years ago this happened.
When she was
how long? Right. Yeah. I mean, if that. Right? But how long has Bison been in power?
Who knows?
It feels like a really long time. I mean, I don't.
Is he in power?
I guess I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I don't understand the whole dynamic. But 20 years is a long time to seek revenge. So that's too bad. I feel bad.
And they intimate that the sumo guy and the boxer also want revenge on him.
Oh my God, Dan!
Reasons maybe they said
they did. They said basically all I
tuned out this whole talk.
All they say is,
I apologize.
The boxer is, I don't remember who goes first, but basically she's like, he killed my dad, yada yada, and the boxer's reason is like, he ruined my boxing career. And then E Honda's like, I was a sumo, he ruined my sumo career. And it's like, wait, how did he even? What does that even mean? How does he ruin your career? So that's why they're there to get vengeance, because he ruined their careers. Boxing and sumo, not anymore, guys. Now you're just regular people.
So Chun-Li breaks her things and just starts kicking Bison's ass.
She's doing great. It's awesome. And
then everybody else runs in to try to help out, and Bison hides in a secret chamber and gasses everybody.
Because they distracted Chun-Li. They're like, hey, Chun-Li, be careful. And she's like, I'm doing... And he's gone. Unbelievable.
This is really Chun-Li's only decent-ish fight in the whole movie, right?
For sure, which is a bummer because, I mean, she basically won. If she had another shot, she could probably win again. I don't know.
It's pretty sad because, we wanted to see her fight.
She's the best character, which is why down the road we give her her own movie, and it's, I assume, really good.
Yeah, I assume it's really good too.
If you want to check it out, Dan, it's on my Vudu. I bought it last night after I watched this movie, just so you know.
And did you notice the John Wayne Gacy bison painting in his room?
I don't think that I did. Is it good?
Do you know who John Wayne Gacy is?
Isn't he the murderer?
He's a murderer, and he's a serial killer who went to prison, and then what he would do in prison was do paintings of creepy clowns. So they have a John Wayne Gacy homage painting of Bison.
Oh God!
In his room. It's like really weird.
That's pretty fucked up.
And they have a chandelier made out of bones. There's just so many weird touches
he's a bad guy.
In this movie.
Dan, I don't know if you knew this, but he's a bad guy. Okay, Zangief, I don't know how Zangief missed this for so many years, but Bison's a bad guy.
Yeah. Oh, so yes. Now we have more of the boat stuff. So the boat stuff and all this was sort of interchanged. Whatever. It doesn't really
it's just a real-life Minesweeper game. That's all.
Yeah. So we get to the temple, and they kick a couple people's asses, which you're like, oh, a little bit of fighting.
Yeah, not a lot.
And then Guile's sneaking in, and then the other two are gonna. Kylie Minogue's gonna wait for the assault force. And now we have my favorite scene in the movie.
Okay, I'm ready.
Well, my favorite joke scene.
Okay, what is it?
So the government dude that was supposed to shut Guile down is talking to his bosses, and he's all like, yeah, well, Guile left, but everybody's here standing down. And then we cut to the compound, and there's a little guy making soup in the middle of this big empty courtyard.
Yeah, that's a great joke.
Very funny joke. Very worth the the 2 hour setup that it would have taken them. If that had been this movie where everything just constantly is like that,
it would have been the best.
Where we're pointing out the
ever.
absurdity.
Yeah,
it would have been a great movie. And those little peaks that we have like that make it enjoyable.
Yeah, they save the movie. To be like, at least for me, this movie is infinitely rewatchable for me, which is, I don't say that, I think, about any of the movies we've done, but wow, maybe Hook. No, this is way more watchable than Hook. I don't know. It's just, it's fun. It keeps it fun. Whatever, Dan, your negativity, get out of here.
I just gave praise to this stupid movie.
And then immediately took it away when I said that it makes it rewatchable. You animal.
That's true.
If I'm flipping through channels and I see this movie's on, I'm going to stop and I'm going to watch it. That's all I'm saying.
I'm sure you are. So Jean-Claude Van Damme is down there and he's creeping around and he pulls out a flashlight, and you know what he knows how to do with a flashlight?
Point it?
Use it! He's able to point it, unlike people in Spielberg films who really don't understand what a flashlight is. Sure. He's able to point a flashlight and illuminate something for us to see.
Well, Dan, he's been in real movies, so he understands tactical maneuvers, okay? He gets it.
So he sees his friend that has become the Hulk, and they have, like, the most lackluster fight in the world.
And I don't know, it takes 45 seconds and he realizes that this is Charlie? How do you even... he doesn't look anything like Charlie. He's green. He's got some crazy ass hair. I don't know how he recognizes it. Charlie? No, there's no way.
Big bad makeup on his face.
The humps, the eye humps. I don't know. Baloney.
And so he's like, oh, you're my friend. I've got to do you a favor and shoot you in the head.
That's his first reaction. His first move is like, you know what? I know how to take care of this. Bullet to the brain. How is this our hero of the movie? Oh, that's so dark.
And then the weird doctor has to come over and give a whole speech about how you shouldn't do that.
Right, which is like, you probably shouldn't have to give that speech. There's no, in a world, you probably shouldn't be like, hey, you're the protagonist of our story. I'm going to explain to you why you don't just randomly kill things.
Yeah. So Bison demands that they raise the chamber, and that was the whole thing. That's why we have this stupid chamber.
Yep.
It's going to get raised up. And so, of course, we all know that Jean-Claude Van Damme is going to be in the chamber. It could, what would have been better is the two of them were fighting, and then they raise up, and the two of them continue fighting. There's a lot of things
I like that idea
very easily.
But this is more of the Goofy movie approach. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah, so they raise the chamber, and then Jean-Claude Van Damme literally shoots
with a
out
karate
of the thing,
kick.
In a kick.
Yeah, awesome.
He's like,
so good. There must have been some sort of pressurization in the chamber that we weren't aware of that propels him very quickly.
Propels him. Now the troops are arriving. DJ is out of here before he even swings. I don't even think he swing a punch.
No, he doesn't fight
movie.
at all in the entire movie. Correct. He just runs.
I wrote red guys / pulls knife / okay, so now it's just the battle. It's just everyone's battling.
It's a big battle.
All the good guys get out of the big battle. All kinds of stuff going on. All sorts of things intercut. You have the one joke scene kind of near the end where Jean-Claude Van Damme's facing down all the bad guys and he pulls out a knife and they all have guns, and then we cut back and there's all these other. It was good.
It's good. Yeah, it's good. It's a classic move.
And now we finally get to Bison versus the Muscles from Brussels.
Yeah. Which, I mean, hey, say what you will. I enjoyed this fight scene. I liked it.
It was a pretty good fight scene. Jean-Claude finally does something.
Well, that's the thing.
Make it...
we only have one good fight scene. Well, two. I'll say two good fight scenes in this, basically the whole movie. Which is not great for a movie based on a game that is only fight scenes. That's all you do in the game is fight each other. I feel like we should have gotten a little more.
they spent time setting up two random bad dudes in the forest, and they look over and see an elephant because there's elephants in the game.
It's a great nod. Great nod. Totally worth it.
So they're fighting. I liked one part where he rams his head into the giant bell. Bong, bong, bong. It's very funny. You've set up this giant bell just so Jean-Claude Van Damme can ram his head.
And that's
into
great.
this bell
That's
3
exactly
times.
what I want to see in this movie.
He tears off his shirt. He's got this really painted-on, fake-looking tattoo of the American flag on his shoulder.
Yeah, it probably should have been the Belgian flag, probably, right?
Probably should have been. We started seeing the horrible bump that makes him look kind of. Maybe that's how he knew it was his buddy under there, because he also was
has the bump
starting to bump up.
Like, Bump Brothers.
So he beats Bison finally, throws him into the thing, and he dies.
Is that
in the midst of this? We have the Godzilla joke battle with the sumo wrestler guy,
which I really
where
enjoy.
they fight on top of Bisonopolis map, and then also Ryu versus
Vega and Sagat. Yeah.
And we have this whole thing where Ken was trying to run away with money.
Because Ken's just a bad guy through and through. Like, that's.
But he comes back.
Oh, sure, he comes back in the end.
Guy.
Like, oof. I mean, I get it. He's, that's his character arc or whatever. But
he Han Solo's in the most telegraphed way.
That's good,
right?
Yeah, 100%.
He literally has to see his friend getting killed when he's like,
I guess I should help, huh?
Then Bison comes back to life. He's got a defibrillator in his suit.
Is that what's happening?
Yeah.
And then he's apparently got an adrenaline shot in his suit. So ostensibly, he's got a needle somewhere on his suit constantly. Very dangerous.
Very dangerous.
Very easily for that to accidentally go off, stab him in the heart, and then he's super powered.
And so they fight.
Again, but with blue electricity.
He shoots electricity, and he flies around, and then eventually, cool. I don't know, he just gets kicked.
Yeah, it's kind of, for the battle that I really enjoy, the end of it, the finale is less than stellar. But, he gets kicked into the big TV screen, which I guess is cool.
Oh, did he get... Yeah, he got kicked into the big TV screen. So they're getting the hostages out. The Russian guy changes sides for an unknown reason.
It's not an unknown reason. He just learned that Bison's a bad guy.
Nope. See, I think he changes before does he find out I think he helps the door before he...
No, he holds the door right after the scene with the Jamaican dude where he's like, these people are damaging truth and freedom or whatever, and he's like, what are you talking? We are the ones that are against truth and freedom. He's like, Bison is a bad guy, and then he goes and holds the door for everybody like a hero, like the true hero of the story.
And he also did he have the line you got paid? And he says like the DJ. DJ's like,
so he's just
I was just here for the money. He's like, you got paid?
He's the best character of the whole movie. I will die on that hill.
So DJ has stolen what he thinks is his big payout, and they open it, and it's the box of Bison dollars,
which is great,
and which I thought was a good. Yeah. I did not see that one coming at all. I was like, okay, that's funny.
Totally worthless, guys.
And Sagat gets away. They get away. Guile's not. They all thought Guile was blown up. Yeah. Right. Yeah. And then Guile comes through the thing. I'm okay.
Yeah. Almost completely
and
unscathed.
Everybody stands in a perfect. Wait, what?
I said he's almost completely unscathed as well. Like, for being in an explosion, he's totally fine.
Except for the giant bump on his head, which he's always had.
Of course.
Then we get the big jump, the big wahoo at the end, and
classic.
Chun-Li jumps up, and it's like it's pretty awkward. It's
no, Dan. Awkward. This started a craze. Okay, all the kids wanted to do jump poses now. It's great stuff.
And yeah, so my point being, they should have had the dude that wrote it. They should have done that and then made this movie in Hong Kong and hired Hong Kong stunt coordinators and a real Hong Kong action director.
I am curious on who did the fight choreography, because in general it's not great.
It was a big karate guy, but they said was they wanted to spend months training everybody for the fights.
Yeah.
But because Raul Julia was not well,
right,
they instead concentrated all their time and energy getting that done. Mm-hmm. And so a lot of times the fights would be, they'd have like an hour or two before a fight happened to coordinate it. So they did not Jackie Chan this thing at all.
And because of the reason, I forgive it.
Yeah, I mean, you understand it. It was a movie that it had to come out Christmas of 94 or 95, whatever it was. Yeah. I mean, it had to come out.
Yeah, deadlines.
They said it's coming out this time, period. They wanted to make that money. It did really well.
Yeah, I saw it probably a couple times, would be my guess. I don't remember, but it does sound like something that I would have seen several times in the theater. And I wore out that VHS, man. Woo. Love it.
So it's a kids movie, which adults can also kind of have some fun in. And, it really hits the points that it wants to hit. Could it have been a good movie? Sure. It could have been a great movie.
I agree.
But I think a lot of what happened, circumstance got the better of this movie and did not let it be maybe all it should have been.
Yeah. And let's just, as much as I do enjoy the movie, as a Street Fighter movie, it's hot garbage, because it takes everything you love about Street Fighter and ignores all of it. And it's just like, we're just going to do our own thing. Go fuck yourselves. Which is fine. It's fine. But,
Because when you're thinking about the other one, what's the other one you're
Mortal
talking about
Kombat.
that's pretty good? Mortal Kombat. It's like they would use the specific music in the fights. They would, Ice would be fighting Snake Guy or whatever. They would
Sub-Zero
really
and Scorpion. Come on, Dan. God,
Snake
get your
Guy
shit together, man.
They would really accentuate each of these battles between these two specific people. And those, as I remember it, those fights were real fights.
They're awesome. They're fantastic. And they take the time. They're shot right, so you can actually see. They're great. And they use the moves. That's what I love about Mortal Kombat, is they know what they are faithful to the game. They're using the powers, they're using the moves. This movie doesn't do any of that at all. Which is fine. I mean, it's a different beast, I guess.
Yeah. They had to make this movie, they had to capitalize, it had to be done, it got done. And now it exists.
Thank goodness it did, because endless hours of enjoyment for me, personally, at least.
It brought joy to a sad little Minnesota child who really had nothing in his life, and he could turn to that 3 3/4 inch piece of tape and just bring joy into an otherwise worthless life, and would lead him to be who he is now. A guy
still worthless? Is that where we're headed?
Reliving those childhood memories, feeling that, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know if you do feel. Do you feel? You probably feel.
I feel.
Holding back those tears, the itchy tears, because
my boy
was too sad for a little.
Yeah.
Little boy, just a little Tony.
I like the depiction that you have of me in your
about...
head, Dan. This sad little boy. I like it. It's good.
I think it's the depiction all our viewers have, which is me. Any other final notes about Street Fighter?
I did a whole thing where I rated every character from 1 to 10. I don't think we need.
Okay, let's do it.
You want to do it real quick?
No, we have to.
Okay, so it's not in any order. I should have ordered it from best to worst. But Guile gets a 4.
Wait a second.
What? Okay.
Oh, you just rated them on
a scale of 1 to 10.
Hottie to naughty.
Yeah. Hottie. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, you know what? We'll start with the 10s.
Okay.
My 10s are Bison, Zangief. And then my 9s are Chun-Li and Ryu
Chun-Li.
and Vega, who I thought was pretty great in the movie. He doesn't do like a ton, but he was cool.
I don't know that he said a word in the movie, but
I know,
you did not
but
go
when
out
he
of the movie hating
he takes off the mask and he's like, he emotes well. I enjoy it. And then nobody else
he embodied a video
scored
game.
higher than 6. Everyone else is 6 and below. I'll just skip to the low points. Blanca gets a 0. I gave Cammy a 1, and Dulcin.
Who's
Sorry, what?
Who's Blanca?
Blanca's the green
Blanca's
beast.
The Hulk.
Yeah, he's a 1 at best. Just because they at least made him green, so he's the same color. I was like, that's the minimal you could do. 1 point. And then
Cammy's a 1.
Cammy's a 1, and Dulcin is a negative infinity, which is the doctor.
Who's Dulcin?
He's the doctor that does the experiment on Blanca. In the game, he's like this yogi who like stretches out and like kicks ass. So that's a negative for me. He gets negative points because he's shit in this movie. So those are the highlights and the lowlights.
I would have never guessed
That's
that
what
the
I'm
doctor
saying.
was actually part of the game.
It's a
Never
total
in a million
waste of that
years.
character.
It'd have been like, does he come out and like throw potions or something? Or
no,
something?
He's stretchy.
Sciencey?
He's like Mr. Fantastic. He
He's
has nothing to do with science. He's yogi and like spiritual. It's the opposite of what they did in the movie. Negative points.
Okay, so now we're going to talk about something we've enjoyed this week. I will go first since I'm going to pick next week's movie. There's a new Frank Sinatra documentary on Netflix.
Oh.
I think it's new. I don't know. Shannon put it on last night, and I woke up and started watching it, and it is literally the most granular documentary on a person that I think I've ever seen. I mean, it deals with like almost every news story, every little thing that happened in his life, and it is super fascinating how he crafted himself into being, there's a point at which he's like just a drunk walking down the New York streets and no one will even look at him. Frank Sinatra.
Really? What's this
was
called,
persona non grata.
What's this called?
Frank Sinatra something.
Okay, all right. So I should be able to find it.
I think if you go on Netflix, I think it just dropped. I think it's brand new.
Probably trending.
Yeah, it's probably trending. That's probably the only reason why we probably saw it. Or maybe it's a little older, but I don't think it is. And they have footage of everything. Every time he ever spoke about his history, they've taken that.
Wow.
And then everyone in his history, and it's just really fascinating. The fights he made, and also the sort of dickish things he did, and then his comebacks. I didn't really, we grew up with him. I grew up with him as being quite old.
Yeah.
And, only kind of knew him from the movies and the songs. And then when you really see the scope of it, you're like, wow. And it's like, it's at least 2-2-hour episodes, and we haven't even gotten up to the Rat Pack yet. Yeah, we're already like more than 2 hours in, and it's nowhere near we're getting close to the Rat Pack. So
interesting. Yeah, I mean, I grew up with him just kind of being this like almost fictitious like superstar. You know what I mean? Like not made up, but like more of like an emblem more than anything. So I don't know anything about his life other than, he was fucking cool as shit. That's kind of like what I know him as. Interesting.
Yes, and this thing, if you want to dig into somebody's life, they are doing the master class on everything.
Oh, wow.
And so it's I always find that super interesting to watch somebody evolve through, because he started, just singing in clubs and things, and then moves into radio, and then starts singing with the big bands, and it's an apotheosis. He went from nothing to everything, and it's super interesting.
Cool, I like it.
What do you got first, Dan?
Well, no, before we go on to that, Dan, I feel like we really skipped over a part where you said you had to wake up to watch this. What time did you go to bed that you had to wake up to watch something Shannon was watching? What
happens is when winter comes, I have a hard time staying awake after about 8 o'clock.
Because the sun's already
8
been down
o'clock
for a
comes.
while.
And I think I'm part bear or something, so it's like a hibernation sort of thing. So I like just start, and I just pass out on the couch,
Sure.
and then I'll fall asleep for an hour or two, and then I'll wake up and I'll be like, Jan will be like, okay, now you can go to real bed. And so, so I just woke up and she was only like maybe 20 minutes into it.
Sure, and that'll hook you.
I was like, oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'd watch that.
And then we watched like another 2 hours of
Beautiful.
it. We watched the whole first one and then started into the second one, and then we were like both too tired, and we're like, okay,
all right, I'm intrigued. I'll definitely watch that. Okay.
Yeah, but this just happens to me in winter. Like when we get closer to spring and then summer, I'm able to stay
Then
awake.
you're fine. I love it. That's great.
I get better.
It's a great
Winter's
great
not.
danecdote, as they say. So
They say.
I'm going a little bit different than you this week. We'll say similar to you.
Pick something not entertaining.
Kind of. Bear with me for a second. Much like your pick.
I'm really hoping it's the My Pillow guy's takedown of the election. Is it that? Did you watch the 3 hours?
No, I did not. 3 hours?
He did a 3-hour documentary about how Trump got the election stolen from him.
Oh my God.
He's paying to have them play it on TV.
No, I'm not doing that, Dan. I will never sit through that.
Okay,
But having said that, so similar to you where you picked Frank Sinatra, like one of the coolest cats alive, I too have been on a kick where I'm watching a lot of things made by one of the coolest cats alive, Kevin Dillon. Now,
Wait, who's Kevin Dillon?
He's Johnny Drama in Entourage.
Oh, he's Johnny. I thought it was E. I thought you were going on an E-a-thon.
Kevin Connolly. No, forget that. I mean, I like him just fine, but he's not cool.
So Johnny Drama, he did something else other than Entourage?
I mean, first of all, he had a career way before Entourage. Like, he was in Platoon. He was in the original, or maybe not the original, but he was in one of the Blobs. Like, he had some good stuff going for him, and then it fell off. Doesn't matter. Anyhow, so I'm kind of.
He was in the original Blob with Steve McQueen?
No, I think it was. It must have been the remake. Like I think the first remake, because I feel like there's been a couple. I don't know.
There could be more, but there was a sort of 80s, 90s remake.
Yeah, he's the lead in that, I believe. Anyhow, so we're kind of going through a Kevin Dillon watch-a-thon, and we're watching everything he did. And last night we stumbled upon this sitcom he did after Entourage wrapped. It's not good. Like, it's called How to Be a Gentleman, based on the book How to Be a Gentleman. And the guy who plays Rickety Cricket from It's Always Sunny. Do you watch It's Always Sunny?
I've watched. I know Always Sunny. I don't know the depths
Rickety
of
Cricket is
weird
like the
secondary
homeless guy. He's like high pitched. It doesn't really matter. He wrote and like helps. He's an exec producer on the show, so it's him and Kevin Dillon as the leads. And Rickety Cricket plays a guy with a column called How to Be a Gentleman, and then they have to like learn to be sexier and edgier because someone bought out the magazine. So he befriends Kevin Dillon, who's like this, guy's guy. Kevin Dillon, that guy. Yeah, he's a bro's bro. He owns a gym, and he is phenomenal in this show. Johnny Drama, Kevin Dillon, is great. I'm obsessed with it. He's very funny. His comedic timing is like really on point. But Rickety Cricket is unbelievable as a human. And so like them together is almost unbearable to watch. But the rest of the cast is great. Dave Foley is one of the guys in it. There's like some really great people in it. But the show itself is terrible. But I can't stop watching it. So it's
it's terrible because the one guy is just essentially completely miscast.
But miscast in his own show. He created it. That's what's wild to me. So it's this weird. I'm watching this and I just don't understand. Like, he wrote it for himself, but he doesn't embody the character. And I don't think I've ever seen that before. So it's a very interesting watch. And again, Kevin Dillon just knocks it out of the park, and I'm obsessed.
Oh,
There's only 9 episodes because
Well-
it was canceled after like 3 or something like that.
Well, it's good that you're cluing the people into your personal obsessions of things that probably aren't interesting to anyone.
That is correct. Isn't that what this podcast is about, Dan?
That's completely what this case is about. Delving into your weird childhood and the way that I fall asleep. Okay, so we're going to continue on Video Game Month.
I'm very excited.
With my pick. Something very sweet from 1999.
Okay.
Starring one of Tony's favorite male performers.
Not Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Not John Claude. Like, who are your favorite male performers, Tony?
Of all time or right now?
All time.
Jim Carrey. He's up there. Freddie Prinze Jr. Are we doing
Freddie
Wing
Prinze
Commander?
Jr. We are doing Wing Commander. I've been waiting to do Wing Commander for so long. So long.
Oh my God, Dan. I'm so excited for this. Matthew Lillard. Freddie Prinze Jr.
Yeah.
Oh, this is going to be good. I'm ready for it.
Have you seen this movie?
Oh, a bunch of times. I own it on DVD. I haven't seen it probably since... I think I made my wife watch it within the last decade. She said I didn't. She just yelled, "I haven't?" Great, because now I'm going to.
You're still married. That's probably why you're still married.
Yeah, we'll see if I'm still married on the next show.
I expect this movie to be a giant pile of garbage.
Dan, it's basically better than Top Gun. I can't even say that with a straight face. I haven't seen this movie in a long time. It's been too long.
Do you like this movie?
I will tell you that I defended it for years. And then I grew up a little, but I moved on to better Freddie Prinze Jr. movies to defend because a lot of people don't like most of them. But this was in my arsenal for a while. Yeah. It's a good movie. It's not. There's gonna be a lot to talk about, but it's fun. Just get ready, man. You're gonna love it.
Well, hopefully Matthew Lillard saves this movie because I like him. I think he's very charismatic.
I'm not gonna spoil anything.
And it'll be interesting to see his charisma up against, flat charisma Freddie Prinze.
I'm sorry. What, Dan? How dare you? Oh, we're gonna fight next week.
And I think in preparation for this, you should go back and rewatch him hosting his what was it, the show
with Dana Carvey,
the Impressionist.
Yeah,
show.
what was that called?
Oh,
I don't know.
We could ask Jono
because he was on it and should have won. Whatever.
Okay, well, this has been Street Fighter. If you like what you see, leave us a comment. Leave us a Facebook post. Leave us things that you could do on YouTube things.
This is why we don't do well. We don't even understand the platforms we're on.
just about this much. Say goodbye, Tony.
Well, goodbye, everybody. Listen, save yourself some time. Don't watch next week's episode. Just watch Wing Commander and live and bask in that glory. Because that's all we're going to do next week. I guarantee it.
Bask in the glory of Wing Commander. Oh, Wing Commander.
I'm so, Dan, I can't even tell you how excited I am about this.
Hey, watching with Dan and Tony. Hey, watching.